Benzino blasts Eminem for using and dumping him. In the world of hip-hop, beefs are nothing new, but some stories just refuse to die. This one? It's personal, it's loud, and it's back. Benzino, former rapper and media figure, has once again come out swinging against Eminem, this time with fresh accusations. But this isn't just another diss. He's claiming betrayal, manipulation, and that Eminem used him, then tossed him aside when the spotlight dimmed. This is more than just hip-hop drama. It's a deep look into loyalty, power, and how the music industry plays chess with people's lives. So buckle in, because what's boiling over now has been simmering for decades. The origin of the feud. To understand why Benzino is furious today, we need to rewind. This feud isn't new. It's rooted in one of the most infamous beefs in hip-hop history. Back when Benzino was a co-owner of The Source magazine, Eminem was on the rise, redefining rap in his own image. But Benzino wasn't impressed, and he made that known. He labeled Eminem a culture vulture, someone exploiting hip-hop without honoring its roots. That alone set the stage for a war of words, tracks, and public takedowns that lasted for years. What started as criticism spiraled into brutal diss tracks, with Eminem responding in full force. But here's the twist. Benzino now claims that behind all that fire there was a strange kind of relationship building. One where he says Eminem reached out in private, friendly, cooperative, while publicly maintaining the image of rivalry. That duality? That's what Benzino now calls using and dumping. Benzino's new accusations. Fast forward to now, and Benzino isn't just revisiting old beef. He's escalating it. According to him, Eminem didn't just go after him in music. He built his own empire on the back of that feud. Benzino claims that Eminem's diss tracks helped push both their names into the spotlight. But when it came time to mend fences or build something meaningful out of that chaos, Eminem vanished. What Benzino is saying now is raw. He feels exploited. He says he allowed certain conversations, allowed the tension to become marketable, and in return, Eminem turned his back when he no longer needed the controversy. It's not just professional, it's personal. He's framing it not just as beef, but as a betrayal of mutual understanding that was never made public. The emotional undercurrent. Underneath all this noise lies something deeper, a conversation about race, respect, and representation in hip-hop. Benzino has long criticized how Eminem is celebrated in ways that many black artists are not. He's questioned why one artist is hailed as a lyrical god, while others from different backgrounds have to fight for recognition. It's a question that cuts deeper than just one feud. It's about who gets to tell hip-hop's story and who gets to profit from it. Benzino's latest comments revive that argument, not just pointing fingers at Eminem, but at an industry that, in his words, loves the culture but not the people who created it. And when you listen closely, what you hear isn't just anger. It's pain, frustration, and decades of feeling unheard. Eminem's silence. What's perhaps most interesting and telling is Eminem's response: silence. No public comment, no diss track, no playful jab on social media. And that silence speaks volumes. To some, it's a power move, the high ground, showing that he's unbothered. To others, it's indifference, as if the very man Benzino accuses of betrayal can't even be bothered to acknowledge the fallout. This dynamic adds even more tension. Benzino is pouring fuel on a fire that Eminem won't even publicly admit is still burning. And that imbalance, one man yelling into the storm, the other standing still, only makes the story feel more volatile. The role of the public. Every time Benzino speaks out, fans go into overdrive. Some dismiss his claims as desperate, calling him jealous, bitter, or clout-chasing. Others applaud him for speaking truth to power, for refusing to be silenced. Social media becomes a battleground. Meme culture mocking the beef, hip-hop heads dissecting every quote. But beneath the trolling lies a real conversation about legacy. Can someone like Benzino challenge the status quo without being ridiculed? Can we separate honest critique from personal history? The public is part of this drama now, not just watching, but shaping how it's remembered. What this says about hip-hop culture. Today, this feud, old as it is, reveals a lot about the state of hip-hop today. We're in an era where old rivalries don't fade. They resurface through platforms, podcasts, and posts. The music industry thrives on conflict, and controversy becomes currency. Benzino's latest outburst isn't just about Eminem. It's about how artists feel used, how media shapes careers, and how the lines between real beef and industry strategy have blurred beyond recognition. In many ways, his words hit harder now because they're not just disses. They're reflections on what happens when fame, identity, and history collide in the music business. More layers to the feud. New diss track. Escalates the war. The fire's been stoked again. Eminem dropped a new diss track, reigniting a feud thought by some to be over. The sharpest lines take aim at Benzino, mocking his physique, financial struggles, and even dragging his daughter into the fray. That move feels calculated, painful, and unrelenting. In return, Benzino responded in kind, unleashing a scathing new track of his own. It's no longer a war of words, it's a full-blown lyrical duel, each trying to assert dominance not just over the other, but over their own narratives. Cultural betrayal or shrewd play? At the heart of Benzino's criticism lies a deeper cultural question. He's accused Eminem of profiting from hip-hop while failing to give back or uplift the community that cultivated the art. It's not just sour grapes. It's a serious critique of exploitation versus representation. For Benzino, it's about more than personal offense. He sees this as a broader betrayal of a culture he helped elevate. Olive branch or show? A gesture of peace or strategy? In a surprising twist, Benzino recently publicly congratulated Eminem on his impending grandfatherhood. He spoke of reconciliation, offered a gift, and even extended love, calling it a moment to move on. Was it a genuine olive branch or a power play? In the game of public posturing, gestures that seem warm can still carry an edge, creating questions about timing, sincerity, and timing's irony. Silence from Eminem. One of the most potent weapons in this feud is Eminem's silence. By not responding publicly, he holds the power narrative. Silence in hip-hop can be deafening. Is it a sign of confidence or pure indifference? Either way, Benzino's amplified voice meets emptiness, fueling tension and leaving fans divided on whether Eminem even cares. What this says about hip-hop's legacy and industry power. This feud isn't just personal, it's emblematic. It exposes cracks in how fame is built and who wins when the past resurfaces. When diss tracks crop up decades later, it reveals that hip-hop's history still echoes into today's battles. It's less about who's better on the mic and more about impact, inclusion, and the chaotic legacy of power songs and magazines. So, what do you think? Is Benzino finally telling a truth that's been ignored? Or is this another attempt to reignite a beef long past its prime? One thing's clear. This story is far from over. If you found this breakdown insightful, hit that like button, subscribe for more real talk on hip-hop's untold stories, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Did Eminem use and dump Benzino? Or is Benzino reaching too far for relevance? Either way, thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Because in hip-hop, old beefs never really die. They just get louder.